Hello, my dear listeners. I hope you're doing well. Today, we have a very interesting person as a guest. My good friend and student, Sherif.
Yeah,
Sherif, how are you?
I could say Alhamdulillah, and everything is going on well, all thanks to Him, the Almighty, and that's it.
That's great. That's great. So, me and Sherif met here at Rhinar campus, and we've been, really actively engaged in discussions, communications, and I find him a very interesting person to talk to. Thank you very much for being on a podcast. And just to give you a bit of information on the podcast, Sharif, right? The podcast is called Unfiltered Voices, as you already know. And the idea of a podcast is that you, as a guest or anybody else, comes here with an interesting story or an interesting topic that I don't choose, and we speak about it, right? We get into a deep dive into it, and we learn a bit more about the topic. So it's basically your podcast audited and presented with the help of mine.
Yeah, you know why I wanted to be here? Because I actually understood the idea that I can bring something which is messing with me or which I want the people to know. And Unfiltered Voices is actually providing a platform. And is that what you want to mean? I
Yeah.
guess we do that well. And I hope today I come up with a story of me being in Deutschland here and how um, my religion, my beliefs helps me make my life good here because I am all alone here. I do not have my family here, and there are a lot of stuffs happening in my life right now. So that's it.
Cool. Um, let's deep dive a bit into your stay in Deutschland
hmm
and Germany. So, how do you find it, first of all?
Germany is a beautiful country. As I come from India, seeing Germany for the first time was a dream, and the first thing I notice is in the air. You know, uh, the sceneries are beautiful, life here is good, and then something comes when it comes to me being a student here and sometimes working. Okay, I don't I never actually knew the working culture here in Deutschland, and I, being a student here uh, and an intern in my campus, I had to learn the working culture is different in a very hard way.
May I ask about the hard way? Don't name specific people, maybe,
Yeah,
but name something that that help you understand that Germany is not exactly India and India is not exactly Germany. So, what do you mean by that? Like, try to let us know.
okay. See, let's say you. I think it's pretty much common in all over the world where when you go for applying a job and you get a job, you get to learn or somebody tells you or teaches you what actually working there means. Let's say in India, let's say you are going for a basic job where you are a shelf arranger in a supermarket.
Hmm.
You are not actually told, go there, arrange the things in order. You are actually taught that these are these sections. Here we want you to keep this, and you get at least a week of training period to adapt to the culture. But here in my intern life, it's not like that, I could say. I don't want to pinpoint anyone, or I don't know if that is the actual tradition they follow or that is what it is, but I'm going to speak what I felt. When I came here, I was directly told work.
Yeah.
I did not know what I had to actually work. And you know what, it kind of comes up in your head when you have to meet some deadlines.
Yeah,
because my stay is about to end and I have to tell and document what I actually did, but most of it is actually figuring out how to work.
that's perfect.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man, because if maybe I feel like that if you don't actually complete what you wanted to, then you actually not completed the
Mhm.
job. But the German way of seeing it is, even if you not completed it, you actually learned something all the way through, which I feel I actually did. I learned a lot more about me. I actually understood what comes to me, what doesn't, and what is the mistake I do. So it is a learning experience, but do I feel very good about it? No, because I had to learn with a kick in my butt,
Yeah,
man. That is life is tough.
yeah.
Like,
Well, that's how it works. I mean, you learn along the way.
yeah.
Apparently, in Germany, that's what you experience. That you
Mm-hmm,
learn along the way.
mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a different cultural aspect. It's a different cultural experience because in India, apparently, you are being taught exactly what to do. Here, sometimes you need to find your own way through it because it's your job and your
Yeah,
responsibility to get
exactly.
it done.
It is, man. It is.
Good. Now, you mentioned you mentioned that religion has helped you
Yeah,
in trying to survive,
yeah.
so-called survive in Germany, right? What do you mean by that?
Say, you know, when you feel all alone, when you feel like you do not have anyone to talk to, or you feel like something is there on your heart, on your chest, which is pressuring you, you need someone to speak with. And who can you actually speak with? I don't find an answer for that. You know, even if we don't want to mention God or someone else, I say prayer and something which helps you to connect yourself with the universe, if you want to call it, with God, if you want to call it, with something else you want to call it. It's the way of maintaining your energy and releasing your sorrows. And being religious helped me because even if things did not go in hand for me, like I couldn't do the things which I had to, I always say, like, okay, I couldn't. What if this is God's plan?
Hmm.
So that I don't have to bear the full thing. Sometimes maybe it helped me that way. Maybe it's all God's plan. Maybe I did something wrong somewhere and God wants me to feel bad. You did this to someone, you made someone to feel like this, and now it's your time to feel trash.
Now the question then comes down to: do you think with such an way
Hmm.
of giving a responsibility to a higher power,
Hmm.
do we try to avoid responsibility of the human beings? is
Ah.
that a is that a thing? Because for me, is I usually do that myself. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna lie, I'm also a believer,
Hmm.
so I do it sometimes to say, yeah, it was a God's plan to, I don't know, for me to do something bad. God is punishing me now, so I feel bad. But how do you think, do people find an excuse to do bad things in order to, by giving the responsibility to some higher power like God, anybody, right?
Hmm.
Buddha,
Hmm.
Allah, right? Whatever
Hmm.
religion do people belong to?
So, like maybe I think I was about 15 or 16 sometimes. I heard this quote for the first time. It was like, do your duty, leave the rest to God. So, that is what I actually believe in. And it's not like whatever happens, happens. But the question is, did you do what you had to actually do? When you do everything which is right, and then something bad happens, I think it is from God. If you don't do anything at all, and something happens, then you have to be responsible for it.
Okay.
People find this as a big excuse, which I myself did. Like, okay, I never did anything, and why is God doing something? Maybe you didn't do anything. That's why God is doing this to push you towards Him.
Okay.
Okay, so nothing goes right. You're not doing anything to move yourself on, and then God pressurizes you so much, then you have no chance but to return to God, and then something good happens.
So I have two questions, and then we're going to deep dive into that
Yeah,
there.
cool.
Because for me, I do understand the idea of that as well. But usually, sometimes um, it feels like when we say uh, God pressures me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I sometimes have this feeling when I'm at my downs
Mm-hmm.
where I say, "Wait, why is God punishing me? What's the thing, right? I try to be a good Christian in my case,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or my friends are good Muslims, my friends are good Buddhists, any other
Mm-hmm.
religion, and God punishes me. That's how I feel
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, right? And I feel like I feel that's a bit unfair towards me because I there are many people who are much worse who are not being punished as much as I am.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a thing of lost hopes there? Like somebody is doing so bad that doesn't matter how much you punish that person, it's not gonna come. He's not gonna come back to God anyways.
Uh-huh.
Or is it the idea that I am being pressured because it's my destiny to be pressured, right? And then I feel like it's a bit unfair.
Uh-huh. Okay, that is actually a good question. Let me phrase it this way. Consider God a father, and consider yourself a son, and another one, another son. Let's say
Yeah, we're all sons, let's
yeah, we
suppose.
are all sons. Okay,
Or
you
daughters. Yeah, right. Yeah. So let's not.
yeah, okay, okay, son, daughter, whatever. Let's say we are his children. Good word, better word. Okay, cool. We are children. Okay. There is this troublesome kid who is like always throwing tantrum, and is like always bothering something, breaking some stuff, and the father actually tells him, don't do that. And then he puts a situation where he is not supposed to do that, and then tests him. Even if he couldn't, like, even if he could, he doesn't want to. So after some time, the father is like, okay, you did whatever you can, and no present for you in Christmas because you were a bad kid. And then there is another children, and he is trying something, but the father tells don't do. And then he is like, I want to do it, but the father tells no,
Mhm.
you are not going to do it, and I'm not going to give this. And the child is like, what? Why does father doesn't give me? And he feels like, no, this is unfair. He did everything, he broke everything, but the father gave him everything, but I didn't do anything. I just told him my
Mhm.
desire, that I want something, and he was like, no. But he threw tantrum, he hit him, and then he gave everything he wanted. But the actual thing comes when there is Christmas. Okay? At the Christmas, that guy is not gonna get anything. The first children,
Mhm.
the troublesome kid is not gonna get anything, but you are going to get a good present.
Well, I feel like you're doing this now. This comparison with the world after we pass
Yeah.
out. That makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense
yeah,
overall,
yeah.
right? The question is, and that's also another doubt that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people have:
Mm-hmm.
does the world after us exist? So
Oh.
it's a thing that comes broad, like because if I see people who are doing a great job
Mm-hmm.
here, even though they're bad,
Mm-hmm.
and they're earning a lot of money, they're having whatever they want, and then everybody from a religious endpoint tells
Mm-hmm.
me, well, yeah, but once we all go to
Mm-hmm.
God
Mm-hmm.
or once we all die, then our life will be different and
Mm.
theirs will be different from
Yeah.
ours, right? But nobody knows exactly if that can really happen, right? So
Okay.
that usually comes down to, yeah, I need to believe it,
Mm-hmm.
but
Is there
cannot
actually?
actually feel it on my own.
Okay. So let's put some science into it. Let me say, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. So let's say you are energy yourself. And what happens when you actually die?
I don't know.
Exactly. Your energy is preserved. Maybe your body gets decomposed, but your energy is preserved somewhere in the world.
Can I ask, how do you know about it? Because that's the thing, that's what we believe in,
Yeah,
right? We need to
exactly.
believe in that,
Yeah.
but we don't have any facts
Mm-hmm.
stating that from a scientific world, right? For
Mm-hmm.
example, me personally, as a young scientist,
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult for me sometimes to believe in a things that I cannot explain.
Okay. There are things which can only be felt and couldn't be explained. Say for love. For some, it's just having intimacy and making love.
Yeah.
And for some, it's just seeing them, just looking at them, you feel content and you feel peaceful. But everyone gets to define what love is for them. And it is the same way you feel sad about something, and someone feels not so sad about the same thing. And I guess belief on God is something like love. You can feel it, you can express it, but you cannot actually show it in some worldly manner. Let's say, like when people want, like when some small kids ask, why can't we see God? Some people actually say, can you see the sun? And the kid would say, no, not at all, because my eye hurts. And people will say, sun is a creation of God. When you can't see the creation of God Himself, how can you see God? You cannot see Him. It is, He is so powerful, you couldn't. So it's like, what is there in the sea? I can tell you what is there. If you want to go into the sea, you can go, but you will never have the time to explore everything. It is like you feel it, you see it. If you like it, you take it. If you don't, you don't. But it is, I think it is like the layers which where you decide where you want to stand. Some people go deep and actually understand that it is just an understanding of life. Some people stay at the top layer who actually don't realize what is happening. Some people are like the topmost layer, like I am here, I am comfortable here, and I don't want to go deep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think the idea there really is we people just are not patient by nature,
Yeah,
are not
exactly.
patient creatures in life. We want the results straight away. That's what I've noticed lately, right? After observing a lot of people, I noticed that we people are not patient creatures. If somebody has Maserati, we want Maserati. We don't think about how much effort that person put into obtaining that Maserati, right? And we don't know what was the background. We usually think, "Oh my God, he's so lucky to have Maserati. I want one as well." But we don't never say. Apparently, we never say, "I want to work hard like that person in order to have that much money so we can afford ourselves Maserati." Right? That's the patience part, but I believe that's how it should be at some point because we know we have limited resources, we have limited time, and we want to dedicate that time to our personal development. We want to develop ourselves, we want to be better, And sometimes I believe in this pursuit of me being better, we sometimes lose something that is a bit more important,
Mhm.
our self. Some people call it our closeness to God.
Mhm.
I call it ourself
Mhm.
as people, right? But yeah, that's the thing of being close to God, as you can say that. Another thing that I want to ask you is, you said when I'm in Germany, it's very difficult to sometimes to talk to somebody, and then I find God who is helping me because I'm talking to God,
Mhm.
right? The question there is, why can't you share the same thing to people? Like, why is there a necessity of talking to God? Why can't you just talk to people about your issues?
Okay. Mm, it's cool. A good question. Speaking to people, you know, if you have two things, a box which someone can actually open, and a box which no one actually could, and you have to preserve something which is so dear to you, which one would you choose?
I don't know.
Okay, okay. Me personally, if I want something which is to be preserved so hard, I would better choose a box which no one could open than the box which someone could. Because though they don't want to open it, though they don't want to touch it, in their mind, it they can actually think like, what's that?
Yeah, there's an interest.
I just want to know more about it. I just want to get deep into it. So I believe that secret is a no more a secret when you tell it to the first person itself. And my stay here is a short one. It's not big enough to actually tell stuffs to others. I I I know people to whom I speak with, but people give me this feeling like, okay, let me put it in entirely in different point because I think I just
Oh, it's the thing
drifted.
of it. No, it's a thing of a trust, really. I think
No, no,
there.
no, 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 no. It's not about trust. Okay, how to feel like it? Okay, there are only few people who can make you feel like you are actually relieved. Not everyone can make you feel like
Yeah,
you are actually relieved. If you find people like that who can make you feel relieved, speaking with them is not wrong at all. But in my case here in Deutschland, it's I know people, very good people with whom I can speak with, have good time with, but I don't feel like
fair enough.
it's like, yeah, man,
Then
good.
the question comes down to, so that's why you speak with God here while you're being in Germany. Do you have such people in India who you can go, like family members and very
Yeah.
good friends? Do you, if you have them, do you speak with God in India? Do you also tell things to God in India? Because you could talk those
Hmm.
things with those people, right?
Hmm. So, okay, how to say this? I am just searching for words to put it out perfectly. Um, you know, Mother is a god which you can actually see and you can actually feel. But even Mother has limited resources. Let's say you want something, Mother could actually give whatever she has and take whatever you have to give her. Even if sometimes if you don't want to, she is gonna take. But let's say you want something of your dream, something which you cannot explain, but something which you can feel. Those things you cannot get from people. Those things can be given by the universe, and we do not have universe with us always. And at that times where you want something really bad but you don't actually know who to ask, God helps. So if you want problem out of something and you are working hard, nothing good is happening, but you have two decisions to make. You can either believe that something good is going to happen, but and nothing is going to happen at all. But this something good is going to happen is, like, for me, is belief of God. I am not telling that something good is going to happen because I am working hard. I tell that something good is going to happen because God is going to give me that if my hard work is good enough. To put up, I could say it's like you are doing your duty for a master, let's say, for a master. And if you don't know if he is going to give or not, you are going to try harder, because at the end you are going to receive something and you will be happy. And if you don't believe there is a master, the work you do is going to gradually reduce,
Hmm.
and sometimes you won't get what you actually wanted to get.
Yeah, we mentioned that the people are impatient, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
suppose me as a normal person, somebody else
Mm-hmm.
is a normal person, is not very strong in their belief. They want to be close to God, but it's very difficult, because they're not strong in their
Mm-hmm.
belief. And they do something hard, and then God doesn't return anything back
Mm-hmm.
for one time. Second time, third time, apparently God has a plan to reward this person with something bigger at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But then the person feels like giving up
Mm-hmm.
because of, hey, I tried so many and many times,
Mm-hmm.
and God is not giving me anything. I am tired of working for the master. If master doesn't want to show his appreciation to me
Mm-hmm.
at a certain level,
Okay.
because that happens in a work life as well, right? You work, and if you don't see that somebody's valuing you enough, then you change your work,
Mm-hmm.
because there might be a bigger agenda in their workers life, right? So the probably employer is thinking of giving a completely big surprise, or bringing that person to a better position. But in this moment of trying, the person gets so tired of waiting
Mm-hmm.
that the person gives up and finds a different job. So I know that happens to several people in terms of religion as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? I know some people who tried several times to be closer, and their belief was not strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to, but it wasn't strong enough, and at some point they gave up. So, what is the ultimate solution we could find? What is the possibility we could find for to keep those people who are not strong enough in their belief, to keep them closer to God? Is there something people can do, we as persons can do?
Okay. I think I have gone through the exact thing you said now. It's a story where I did my undergraduation in engineering. I got a job in a good company, which I wanted to work for a good pay. It's not a bad pay. And I couldn't join the company because I had some issues with my documents and my application. It took me so long. I tried everything, emailed them, visited them. You know, at one point, I actually went to the office. I was not even allowed inside the office. I was stopped at the security gate. I was told that, please get out. The sad part is, I had my father with me. It was so heartbreaking. I came back. I almost cried.
Yeah.
And then I felt like, okay, things happened. Let me change my path. and do masters instead. And then when I started doing my masters, I get an opportunity of studying abroad in Deutschland, and I apply for it, attend several interviews, and I come to Deutschland. It is okay. I believed so bad that I'm going to get something from the same company, and then I decided to change it, and then I did my duty at all. Now we put this with your question. A person worked hard for some company, he did not get something at all, just changed his track. Something which he should have got in this company comes in a different form in another company. But what he had to get in this comes in a different way. If you believe in such path, if you believe in something is going to come, if this way or this way, you're gonna be believing forever.
Okay. So you're telling me if something doesn't work at 1 point, 2 points, 10 times, it will work 11th time in one form or another.
Yeah,
And that's why
exactly.
I should believe it. I shouldn't change because, for example, another option there could be if you're a Christian, you could then become Muslim and check, or if you're a Muslim, you can become Christian
Hmm.
or anything else, right? Some other religions, in order to try and seek for help
Correct.
in other religion. So
No,
is that not an option?
no. I think in the end, God is one,
One.
and religion is just a path. Like I told, if you serve a master in this way or in this way, as long as you believe in the master, you're going to get it.
Okay.
You may feel that I'm not going to get in this way, maybe I will get the same reward in this way. The end is you are going to be served
Okay.
because you are putting so much energy, you are going to get the energy back.
So as much as you believe,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the important. So it's not always very important if you're a Muslim, Christian,
Yes.
Buddhist, I don't know,
Whatever.
whatever,
Yeah.
really whatever. As much as you believe that you are serving the God, then you're gonna be treated equally.
Perfect. Exactly.
That's what you wanted to convey.
That's the standpoint.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So now we're clear on that as well. I
Yeah.
do believe in that as well. It doesn't matter what religion you serve.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, particular location might determine what God you serve, how you've been raised might determine what God you serve. But no matter what God you serve in that, as much as you believe that there is a God who will accommodate you, who is helping you, and who will be there with
Yeah.
you, then you will be having this idea of being close to the God. And in the end, what I believe that all religions are in the end united by this belief in something higher, some
Exactly.
higher power, so-called God, Allah,
Yeah,
or
anything.
any
Yeah.
other religions. Good. One more quick question.
Yeah.
And that would be the most important question, I believe.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to the people who believe they're not strong enough in their belief? What can they do to feel closer to God?
You know, if you are thankful, if you are grateful, you get a feeling of happiness. If you are happy, you are going to have a peaceful mind. When you have a peaceful mind, you can actually see everything a bit clearly. When you see things bit clearly, you start imagining, you start wondering, and you start questioning. And when you start questioning, you are going to get the answers. And that answer is life is beautiful. Someone, somewhere, had all the power, made this, and then he let you, not, no, let's not put he, the, the power let you enjoy it, appreciate it, and then return back to the power itself. If you believe this, I think everything is going to be easy.
Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Thank you so much.
Today we had Sheriff in our guest portal, and we spoke a bit about religion. We spoke, different aspects of religion and how to become stronger in it. If you know how to be closer to God, and how you were closer to God, and how God helps you in the difficult times.
Yeah.
I very much appreciate your honesty
you,
and then the idea of being here and really saying it as it is. I also want to thank our listeners, whoever it's going to be. Thank you very much for sticking with us for this time while me and Sheriff had a nice talk. I wish you a great day, and I hope this episode helps you to develop your viewpoints in one point or another. Thank you very much, and thanks a lot, Sheriff.
Thanks, man.